bridges, there's a bridge scour, there's a POA form, correct?
Yeah, I believe it's plan of access,
And
is what it's called.
what it is basically, it's a detour if there's a bridge scour problem during a flood. It's basically almost like an emergency action plan of how traffic is gonna go around these bridges, correct?
Yep, that's the way I see it.
There's eight bridges in the thing, 7 of them are on the Gin River, so, you know, we've had issues with high water and flooding and things like that. I kind of know, it's just a matter of me doing the paperwork, which, you know, I think I can do, and Jason offered to help, so we will get the bridge cover thing taken care of.
And that appeases who? Who's sending you this?
Federal government.
Federal
Well,
government.
it's coming from the state now, but
Okay.
apparently the state got in a little bit of trouble with the feds because this wasn't getting done properly. So they pushed it really hard on us in January, and then I don't know when you guys got that email, Dan.
Well, the second one we got, what, about 2 weeks ago, Dan?
Yeah, I suppose, but aren't all federal regulations gone as of, 2 months ago?
Can't we call Elon Musk?
I don't think that one's good.
That was a joke.
And he rode the road, you know, the muskrats, he rode the road.
So anyway,
Okay.
it should be pretty straightforward though, Dan, just so you know, since you
That's
you
just
know
a typical
too.
thing, just fill it out.
You just fill it,
Yeah,
yeah.
basically,
Something's
you're
probably
telling
never gonna
that,
happen.
you're telling, because, so what has to happen with this is if a flood warning comes about, there's an action plan. Essentially, this is the action plan. And some of these bridges, depending on how they're categorized, they have to be inspected daily or weekly, and they have to continue to be inspected all the way through the flood, and then quite a few times after. And there's a certain, for each category, there's a certain amount that it has to be done. But what the county has to get back to them is, if because of scour you have to close this bridge, what are your routes? Like, what's your emergency
What's your
response?
emergency route good?
So that's all it really is. It's not too, it was a pretty short form.
Yeah.
I looked at it, I haven't had to do one yet, but I told him if he needs some help with it, let me know. So.
Okay.
Do you guys have anything else for me?
Thank you.
Yeah. Nothing but good news right now.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
I gotta be here for a little bit, but if you know where the state shed is, right?
Yes.
Well, but the fairground, if you drive in there, you're gonna see, if you wanna go out, you can,
Okay.
take a peek what it is, and then I'll be back.
I will do that.
Alrighty.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
So we got Brian Luswell next here. Brian, okay. Morning.
Morning, how are you guys?
Good.
So I have the final review and acceptance letters for the Highway 5 paving project. We got everything squared away with the contractor, and then the final estimate for approval too. So as long as you guys are good with everything out there, I mean, I think the project went.
I noticed in the April 28th bidding, there was something from the DOT for a bridge north of Aspen. Is that did you happen to see that in the bid list?
On one of your guys' bridges?
Well, it was the Wells County Bridge 3 north of Aspen.
I didn't see that in the DOT bid opening.
I'm gonna find it. Go ahead.
Okay.
You talk to these guys.
Yeah, sounds good. So, basically the final estimate was just, getting the, final quantities. There was a couple of little adjustments and paying out the rest of the, contract bond. Overall, the project came in about $140,000 under the project bid. So there was a few cost savings that we had out there. And then, from our contract standpoint, I think the bout was about $150,000, and we were at just over $100,000. So we won't go out with the rest of that. So we didn't use the hours. Contractor went really quick, and
Turned out nice.
yeah, I think it turned out really nice.
Except you guys neglected to finish the part by the Hamburg Slough.
Good point.
Yeah, they could have put a few truckloads in
Son
there.
of a gun, now you bring it up, Dan.
Yeah. I was wondering when they were gonna do
So
it.
the engineering estimate was right around 100. I mean, that's not anywhere here.
For like our
Your bill,
contract? Yeah, no, we don't, we didn't, print the estimate out, I guess, we just bill directly to you guys.
Right. We've, in the past, I've asked Dan this, and he seems to have, and maybe all engineers do this, you've sent a lot of bills, so at the end, we really don't know what your total.
Yeah, right, and we can make like a summary sheet
Yeah,
for
if you
that.
would do that.
Yeah,
in the
definitely.
future, right?
Yeah, I think
That'd be very
it was just over 100,000
Okay.
total, but I can get a summary sheet and send that over to you guys.
Oh, that'd be
So yeah, just if you guys are good with, how the project turned
Yeah,
out.
welcome to that, right?
For the completion there?
Yeah, you have to sign the final review and acceptance, and then we'll sign it, and we'll return it to the contractor, and close everything out, and that one will be done.
Look for a motion on that?
I'll
Brian
make the
Miller?
motion to approve it.
Is there a second? Got a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, second by Boone. Any discussion? Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I said aye.
I wanted you to make that.
I thought you
Well, I was
said
making
aye.
all these motions here lately, so I
made a
don't
few of them too.
want to dominate the paper.
So, we're all completely done with 5 now.
Yeah, yep.
Boone's the
Yeah,
investigator, he's keeping
Done,
track.
so. And then the bridge, or the box culvert south of Harvey, we've submitted everything to the DOT, and they're doing their final review, so I'd expect that one to be wrapped up shortly too.
Good.
So, and then,
So that's not wrapped up yet. I mean, they still looking at it.
yeah, it's a process, I guess, the
Yes.
final records.
I'm gonna stretch that out to 4 years here pretty soon.
And then the other ones, the bridge north of Pheasant here, and unless you said something different, but that one was still 2026 timeline.
Yeah.
Right.
What had popped up here is wells, 3 north of Pheasant, and structure replacement.
And that was for,
I think it was for the March 28th bid opening.
oh, so that's,
Yeah.
oh yeah, so that's, yeah, January 1, 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we're still tracking.
Oh, so that is basically when when the track is for when it's gonna be bid.
Correct, yeah.
Okay,
that's-
because-
yeah.
The reason is, you know, so they had a DOT bid opening at the end of the
Yep.
and had somebody contact me about what projects are gonna go through Wells County. So I checked the bid opening results after March 27th, and this caught my eye,
Okay, yeah.
because they were looking for regardless.
Quick question, what
Yep.
were your thoughts on 5? Were you guys satisfied with it all?
Yeah, I thought it turned out well.
Good for 20 years?
Yeah, I mean, that's the hope.
Hope.
Stay up on top of chip sealing and crack sealing and,
Yeah.
yeah.
And how soon does that need to be chip sealed and stuff?
Usually we like to do it within 2-3 years.
Okay.
2 years is what we target.
It's not
Yeah.
imminent, right?
No.
No.
Yeah, I mean, from just driving, it looks like.
Yeah.
turned out good.
The ride really improved and, yeah. No, I don't think you guys should have any issues. Just stay up on the reflective cracking will come back through.
It has.
Well, and there too, it's not a perfect deal, it's not 105.5, but we can't afford it anymore.
It's the best we could do, and it turned out pretty good.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, like you said, the one north of President, that one's, January, yep, 2026, and then the other 2 box culverts are 47, starting to be on, so. That's what I got for project updates, unless you guys got questions on any of those, or concerns, or
Oh,
anything.
I think we're good.
Thank you.
Yep. One other thing I got too, So the Flex Fund program, hang on, pass those around. Look at those. The DOT sent us this, the last Flex Fund program that went through, there was the one bucket for county and townships.
We got it.
So there's the one bucket, the top right, the 56 million for non-oil producing townships and counties.
Here, Dan.
And this is, so that's all the Flex Fund, and then the state had their bucket, they take half of it. But the new proposal that's out now, it passed the House and it's going through the Senate now, would significantly increase the program. So it would keep that $56 million bucket for county and townships, and then add a completely new bucket for strictly bridges, township and county bridges, and then add additional buckets for city specifics and township specifics. So they were hoping the application would be out in May for these. I would probably think it's going to be May or June. But yeah, just it's a really good program. We had a lot of success with it last go around. So if you guys got ideas for projects, we certainly would be willing to help out with applications for those. We do those at no charge to the counties we work with. So if you guys got projects in mind, they're hitting on connectivity, safety. They'll have a whole list of criteria. Innovation.
Economic development.
Yep, exactly. So if you got new elevators or new whatever producers coming into town, just something to think about. So we're expecting those applications to be open in like May, June timeframe. So yeah, and if you guys got questions, or if you're filling out applications yourselves and you got questions on anything, feel free to give a call and we can help out with whatever.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Yep, you bet.
Thank you.
Yep, sounds good.
See you. Have a good day.
You
Brian, are you walking out of here with all your paperwork?
Yeah, or
You got
the signatures?
Julie made you sign anything?
Yeah, the
You need
final
to sign it.
review.
For that
So,
Highway 5 up there.
Right.
Where is it?
I got another copy.
You
Right here.
Right.
There's the estimate signature and then that signature.
By the owner's signature?
Yep,
And Brian, you understand that that won't get paid now until May's bills?
yeah, yep, that'll be fine. And then I'll scan it and send you a copy, so you got it for your records too. How's everything else going? Mild spring for the most part?
Yeah. We needed the moisture.
Yeah. Do you got how much snow do you guys end up getting?
I'd say 8 to 10
Yeah.
over 3
Snowing
different
to me.
snows,
Yeah.
3 here, 4 there.
That's about what we ended up with too. Maybe a little
Our
less.
medical doctor.
Yeah.
It was,
I mean,
had good moisture.
Operation.
Good luck.
It's good.
Yeah.
All right. Let me know if you can help with anything.
All right, thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Yep.
Might as well get Aaron here.
Aaron, what's
Here
going
already.
on there?
Morning.
Oh, you're bringing pictures?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if you want them or not. Okay. All right, yes, just thought I'd do an agenda, come in, talk about things. By no means am I criticizing anybody or anything, I think we started this crack seal, well, no, we did not start the crack sealing business. Ron Selensky had been running for many years, and we've taken it over the last few years, and things have changed, 2 years, whatever, so I thought talking to a couple different people, I think there's a little confusion on what we do. as I'm going. I knew nothing 3 years ago, so I'm not a professional yet, but one of my first signs was last spring when I was talking to the state president, Brian Schimmelpenning. I was talking to him about crack sealing. He's like, well, they just take some used motor oil and run it in the cracks, right? So, like, yeah, no, I don't think so. So, at that point, I went out, we had car carts in the back room, and I got a chunk, put it on a piece of cardboard, and showed him last year. So I thought maybe that's where I should start. So I went out in the alley this morning, and I kicked this loose out the alley. That's the product we're using nowadays. Is it PG58 or something like that?
Yeah.
And I don't know much about the old product.
Well, you heat this to what, about 260 degrees?
I think yeah, it's like 100 degrees hotter than what you guys do with yours.
Well-
So this is a higher viscosity. It's a lot better product than the old product. Like from what I understand is you'd never be able to use this for chip sealing, right?
We don't, we used to. What this is just a newer version of like the MC3000 that we use. It's got a flash point of around 300 degrees. We heat it in our storage tank. We heat what we use, which is similar, it's not the same, to about 270 degrees. What we chip seal with is CRS2, and that's a water-based emulsion oil that's heated to 160. We don't tar cart with that.
And from what I understood is like people have asked us to chip seal their driveways, and what Ron Selensky said is he's like, there's no way you can do it with the product because you don't have enough window of opportunity. It sets up so fast compared to the old product. But
With what we're using now. This stuff, the MC, we're talking different products. But the emulsion oil that we chip seal with, whatever doesn't stick in the first half an hour ain't gonna stick.
okay.
It sets up that fast.
Do you think that would be similar with this?
Yeah, but this stuff is, you're heating it to over 100 degrees warmer.
Right. Okay.
Because you just did this morning, correct?
Yeah, I was sitting out in the frozen
Yeah.
alley.
And my guess is that a 100-degree day, if that was sitting there, it would be soft, a little soft again.
Oh yes.
And chips would push back down into it on a hot day.
When we chip sealed Basildon last year, there's areas that I don't know if they
Chip seal or creamy
Or,
crack.
sorry, crack seal. Crack, yeah. All this terminology gets me. But there was areas that, like in front of the body shop, there was an area that had a pretty good puddle, and it was like a hot day, 89 degrees, full sunshine. And I stepped on it, and there was a little bit of twilight come out the edge. But once, if it's put on regular thickness or whatever, transfer isn't a thing. They had stopped doing cities because there was so much problems with dogs stepping on cracks and taking in carpets and that kind of thing. But since Selensky started this product, he's been doing cities. He's like, yeah, we virtually have no complaints about that.
You're not going to track it into your house.
Okay, so moving on here, what are you proposing here?
So I guess I'm not really proposing anything. Well, I suppose I am in a way. There's a lot of the county highways, we do like counties around us. Oh, on the backside, I just went through this morning. That's 5 different counties that we do around you guys. Number 1 was 20.5 miles. It ended up being $799.76 a mile was the county's cost per mile for that 20.5 miles, all the way down.
These are all per mile costs.
Yep, per mile. So I think the statement of commonly between $600 and $800 a mile is pretty relevant, but there's down number 5, we did 41 miles for this particular county, and those roads are awful, and that's not even the right word. There's
More than one crack every 100 feet.
Yeah. So that ended up being like $1,154 a mile, but I think there's more tar than blacktop, and I've never done that. But anyways, so there are some examples of costs. I think, and I talked to Brent about this. I think there's some interest in hoping that Wells County maybe does some. And with that being said, no degraded or anything, nothing. He's limited resources, that kind of thing. When I look at the numbers and talk about this and that or whatever, I almost think you guys could financially hire us cheaper than run your own crew, because it takes, I don't know, multiple people.
Let me read this. I got a text this morning.
I think it ties in with this, I guess, but from John Tavilius, this is not correct chain of command, but I have 4 miles of county 71 sponsored private money. If the county would hire Updells to seal the cracks on our highway, at this time we pledge $2,000 for a $7,000 project. More money possible. But need a contract of no grinding for 5 years or more.
Bill stipulation.
He called me, I just got that this morning, I haven't talked to him. Yeah, he called me this morning and made the statement that there's 4 miles sponsored. I said, well, how many miles are down there? He said 9. I said, well, first off, I said, we can't touch a highway unless we got the blessings of the commissioners. I said, so he's like, well, maybe I should text Brian. And I said, yeah, I think you should. So that's where we stand. So yeah, that's what I just wanted to know too.
That was just this morning?
Yeah, 10 o'clock here, so.
Nothing like throwing something ahead of time, right?
Yeah, I'm not asking for answers or anything like that. I like roundtable. If you guys.
Well,
No, thanks for, that's another option.
we just are $1 million short on our last project that we're looking at, so.
Yep.
We're in a financial.
Sure, and yeah, like I said, I'm not asking, I'm just wanting to talk. Many things in life, whether it's fire department or our township or whatever, we're not professionals at this stuff, so. And I'm not a professional, but I think I got more experience than most of you guys.
So how long you been doing it, did you say?
We have been, now this is our 3rd year passing, but Ron Selinsky, has he run it like maybe 20 years or something?
He's worked with the state highway department for a long time, and they do some crack pouring. I don't know exactly how long he's been on his, where he does it as a side job.
It's been quite a few years.
It's been a long
He
time.
did our church
We
share
did our church.
a while back, and that was 10 years ago at
Yeah.
least, or so
It's been a long time,
it-
and we're still in constant contact with him when we have questions.
That was just a moonlight
But-
job that he did,
Hmm.
not counting the highway department, but he works his day job's the highway department.
Yeah.
Correct. And one thing, the North Dakota Highway Department was on radio last year, and they said, well, you see these guys out crack pouring or whatever, and I don't know, I didn't hear it, Rodney heard it, but the take-home story was, we pour the cracks every year because studies have showed that it prolongs the life of our roads. I believe it was 7 or 8 years. It was 7 or 8 years or 8 or 9 years. So I think it's a cheap potential for, getting a little more mileage. And some of these roads we do, the ruts are so deep, Rodney's statement is, he's like, the rut's got to be 6 inches deep. He says it's got to hold 6 inches of water when it rains, but we're out there crack pouring them every year. And if you look at the pictures, well, no, there's no ruts, but I never explained them.
When you're talking about roads like that, you're preaching to the choir here.
I know.
Well, I've never been on a Wells County road near as bad as what
No,
we've been
our
cracking.
roads are really good.
Our roads are pretty damn good. I think we're pretty fortunate.
So what counties were these in? It doesn't, unless you.
I didn't know if I should openly say that or not. I think it's probably public information.
Yeah, it would be.
Okay,
Just around here?
all around you.
It doesn't matter.
Number 1 is Sheridan County. Number 2 is Eddy County. Number 3 is Pierce County. Number 4 is Benson County. And then I think number 5, I think McHenry. Is that over east of Cheyenne?
No.
Everybody's over there.
That's a Dover and Drake and.
That's Drake's east of Shine. Well, east
Drake
of Shine would be Benson.
Benson, okay. Well, McHenry must have.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's around here.
Yeah, it's counties all around you guys, and we do a lot of cities and that kind of thing around everybody. So I think it's, if Wells County would do it, they're not the only county. We do most counties around you guys. And it's, I think it's well. Some of these are on every other year, some are on every year. One was 20 and a half miles, one is 62 miles. I think that's 62 mile county. I think we do that like every year. But
So how do you keep your oil warm enough every day? I mean, what are you doing? I mean, I know where do you store your oil?
okay, yeah, I guess that's a good. We have trucks, like 3,000 gallon trucks. I know, well, some counties, New Rock or whatever county that is, Eddie, and then what's the one north of that, or south?
Spence,
Okay, so,
Foster,
so
yeah,
the
South-
tank-
South Foster.
the tank in New Rockford services 2 counties over there. They just buy, whatever. So they supply their own oil. Towner, there's a tank that was supplying their own oil, but it would take like all day long to fill a tank, so you'd set the tank up, and you come back hours later, and it might be half full. I mean, it was ridiculous. They don't have a heater, so that's why they use the old product. I assume maybe is what you're talking. But after last year, after they seen the product we're using, they said, well, we'd like to empty our tank and not use it anymore. We'll just buy oil from you. That, I'm off subject. We heat it with propane. We heat, we fill our 1,000-gallon tanks, it takes Rodney a day with propane, whatever, babysitting it to heat it up, and then he reheat it in the morning, and then they go up and crack seal. So basically, we either heat 1,000 gallons at a time or 3,000 gallons at a time, as needed. We have all our 1,000-gallon tanks full so that we can just heat 1,000 gallons, because the electric bill for these heating tanks in the counties is astronomical. I think you said maybe around $3,000 electric on the 12 months.
Yeah, we didn't even turn ours on until after the cold spell in February.
So,
Takes, 2-3 weeks to heat up. Once it's warm, you're not using that much electricity. To keep it warm, but you're getting it warm.
right. And I'm not sure how long these counties, but I know the counties don't want to turn it on, and it usually takes a few weeks to get it up to temperature, depending on their whatever. I think it takes, I don't know,
Meeting on
5 weeks or whatever over east, and so to get their tanks hot is difficult, and I think that's why we kind of got the edge.
So how do you get the oil?
we bring it in by tanker, and we pump it off the tanker into our.
And it's pumpable without heating it?
Oh, it comes in at 300 degrees or whatever.
Okay.
250 degrees or whatever. So yeah, it's hot. We pump it hot,
I just was curious.
and then it deep freezes over the winter. And so yeah.
Okay.
If you guys got any questions, I'm always open to whatever. I just thought I'd come in and talk to a group as one.
yeah, appreciate it.
So thank you guys for your time.
Any chance you can fill like 1.5 mile crack around Hamburg?
Yeah, like the whole car, the
whole
road. Yeah, no, probably not our ability. But as
For
far
$1,000 a mile?
as far as the request or whatever, that's your guys' baby. We'd be willing to crack seal. We're still in the time frame where we can do it and whatever. If you guys would give us the license to do it, we do what you want. And that's where we stand.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now it's your turn.
Where do you want to start?
Where do you want me to start? He will be retired at the end of March. So he is done. He is, we have to, set something up as to how we are going to pay Huey. If you guys, I can't remember if you made a motion to hire him at the March meeting, but we didn't know how the pay was gonna start. He can start May 1st out at the fairgrounds. He would rather not be a contractor, would rather be summer help or however seasonal or.
Didn't we talk about that last month?
Yep,
I thought we did.
but nothing was voted on as far as what are you gonna pay him, what kind of wage, so.
I thought we did that. Didn't we do that?
Nothing was voted on, it was tabled.
Did we talk about price and any of that?
No,
So he doesn't want to be an independent contractor. He wants social security withheld and
well,
like a.
yeah,
county
no
employee.
retirement, just a seasonal employee.
You would
What we would
pay,
do
you
is
would
summer
pay
help.
Fed and state taxes and that's it.
Yeah.
So
What's
Social
that?
Security, Medicare, Medicaid, federal, and state. And he's not gonna be eligible to have to pay state because he won't make enough money.
Right.
So that being said, you still have some liabilities in terms of the tax. So you gotta match the Medicare, you gotta match the Social
Yeah.
Security, all that stuff, so.
So what about insurance?
No, he's part-time.
I realize that, but if he gets hurt out there, what's the deal?